Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and thank you very much for joining me once again. Well, we've had some anniversaries and things going on, Matchbox March and other things, so back to the normal stuff you might say. But one or two of you may notice already that we have here the Border Models Leopard A5/A6, and you're probably thinking, what, another Leopard? Well, it does seem that way, doesn't it? This is not owned by me. This has been lent to me by someone who's very kindly said I can open the bags, but they're resealable bags, so they're okay anyway. Now, I've not seen a Border Model armour kit, in fairness, so it's going to be something new for me. However, we did previously look at the Meng, the Leopard A4, and the Leopard, which got the very square turret, and the Leopard A7, which got the very pointy turret. It's not dissimilar to this. So I thought we'd have a look at something from Border and sort of keeping in mind, I think I gave it, did I give it 9 out of 10? I think I did, because I think with Meng it was the instructions that let it down, but apart from that I think it was fantastic. So we'll see what Border can come up with. We won't mention some of their other products that are allegedly on the way, but I don't think we'll be seeing that on this channel. Like enormous Lancaster, probably not. But let's have a look at see what their armour kits are like, because it's going to be a new experience for me. So we've got some very nice artwork, as you can see. It's the German, obviously the Bundeswehr's Leopard main battle tank, and to be honest, the way that things are going in the world, the German Parliament's just announced, what was it, 100 million euros for investment in defence. I may have got that number wrong, but it was a big jump up. It wasn't a huge amount in the bigger scheme of things, but it was a big jump up in investment in self-defence for the Bundeswehr, and they're going to be investing in, I think, more Leopards, and also a new development with the French, where I think it's got a Leopard chassis and a French turret, an upper hull. Don't know all the details of that, but there's certainly going to be a lot more German tanks in the future, for their own protection, obviously, to beef up the NATO defence force, shall we say. Anyway, as usual with our friends from China, we get quite a lot of Chinese writing, but it does have some writing on the side, and it says the biggest feature of the Leopard 2A6 is the replacement of the L55 120mm smoothbore gun. The muzzle has a velocity of, okay, so it's not very well worded. Obviously that's the new gun, replacement of, what do they mean? That's bad English, isn't it? We're off to typical Chinese sort of writing and instructions already. So it's got a 120mm smoothbore L55 gun, which I think this cannon is actually a Rheinmetall gun. Has a muzzle velocity of 1750 metres per second. Wow, the highest in the world. Ooh. Plus powerful armour and powertrain. There's no spaces between the words, this is terrible. In the rankings, and then there's 4 spaces for no apparent reason. In the rankings of the world's most major battle tanks over the past 26 years, the Leopard 2A6 is ranked at the top. After the Leopard 2 series, the tank was officially put in operation in 1979. A total of more than 3,100 units have been produced, in addition to the procurement of the German Defence Forces, the Bundeswehr. The other 1,300 Leopards 2s have been bought by other Western countries in addition to Britain and France. In addition to Britain and France, the Leopard 2 has become a standard tank in European countries. This is terrible English. Trust me, if you see the way it's written, it's a lot worse than I'm making it sound, actually. It's terrible. The excellent actual performance in the Middle East battlefield and the huge share of the arms market was enough to allow the Leopard 2 series of tanks continue to enjoy the title of Ace Tank for a long time to come. I should get that English checked and get that. That's just a mess. I've never seen such bad punctuation, grammar, etc. Anyway, right, what have we got? A big bag of instructions. Oh, there's a bit of extra. A magazine here. Oh, German magazine all about Leopards. We've got some nice looking pre-wrapped turret, I think it is. Lots of sprues. And is that a piece that's come off? Is that a piece of sprue? There's a little piece here. I better not touch that, I'll leave that. Just a rogue piece. It looks like it might be sprue, it might be some sort of little mirror or something. What it is. Let's see what we have. So, I'm not an expert on German, current, modern German battle tank. Excuse me. I have to confess, it does look nice. Fingers crossed. You'll recall I did the review of the Border ME109, and yeah, there were some issues, weren't there, with the instructions on that, and the Stuka's not much better. But anyway, got something here with some lovely pictures. This is the Militär Fahrzeug. What's that Fahrzeug? Is that future? Oh, my German's letting me down here. Military Military Fahrzeug. Anyway, the German speakers amongst you is Joe Colon, because he's a German and he'll know what this is all about. International magazine for military enthusiasts, model enthusiasts, collectors and modellers. Okay, so I won't go through this in any great detail. It's really just a reference book, isn't it? Some nice colour pictures. British Army using Beetles and Jeeps. That's quite interesting. And Kubelwagens as well. M1 Abrams. I'm going off topic a bit here. I've got to be honest. Yeah, we can't read the magazine. Where's the leopards? Here we go. Leopards. Right. Bundeswehr. Right. The Leopard A5. Here we go. Here's the relevant bits, and you've got some cracking pictures of their sort of urban, sort of Berlin style camouflage. Suburban camouflage system. Great shots, lots of detail, very, very good. It's a Meteor tank, isn't it? Very, very big and bad. Oh yes. Oh, it's nice, it's got lots of good reference there, very helpful stuff. And then, yeah, he goes up. So I'll put that aside because it's really in there as a reference for the owner. But let's have a look at what we have here. Our instructions. So, let's hope they're better than we saw with the other Border products, which, yeah, instructions not their strong point, to be honest. Gently get these out. We've got some polycaps. I think I've got the polycaps back, to be honest. Polycap's a polycap, isn't it, really? There's nothing to choose between them. So I'll put that back in the bag. And the only problem with these resealable bags is they're trying to reseal and you don't want them to reseal when you're trying to close it or put things in it. We've got some cabling. Now this is really nice. This is very proper cable, realistic. Yeah? How about that? That's a nice bit of cabling, isn't it? Super. Oh yes. And then we have some photo etch for the grills on the engine deck. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, there's several grills, aren't there? I think there's an engine grill, air conditioning grill, etc. Fan grills. And we've got some decals. Sometimes these bags are really hard to get into and they actually break if you're not careful. Oh yes, there we go. How's that? I guess this is Border's own decals, but they seem okay. Yeah, they look quite nice, don't they? Yeah, there's not a lot of them, obviously, because these tanks tend not to have a lot. I have to say that, not wishing to get onto this subject in any detail, I just want to say about the war in Ukraine, if there's one thing it has shown us, those of us that are interested in military vehicles and tanks and things, just how vulnerable these vehicles can actually be. I think it's been quite an eye-opener, hasn't it? Some of these anti-tank weapons. I don't think it's helped because the Russians have got some very old tanks, not all of them. But some of them look ancient, frankly, and it's as though they're made of paper. These anti-tank weapons seem to be able to cut straight into them. Some of them have got these canopies on the top to protect themselves from these American missiles, and the British, Swedish N-law missile doesn't seem to help them at all. They just seem to make no difference. Having seen what I've seen, as I'm sure a lot of other people have been watching it on the news and things, I'll be very, very nervous if I was a tank commander in any army now, because I just don't think that they are the king of the battlefield in the way that they used to be, you know. Because these weapons that are so portable and light, and one man can carry one quite easily, One man can take out an entire tank of 3 to 5 or 6 men, or a personnel carrier with lots of people in it. It seems that they can take them out with great ease, so it's been quite an eye-opener, I think. So yeah, it's changed my perception of tanks a little bit. I'm not quite as convinced that they are the best place to be on the battlefield anymore, to be honest. However, we have got a very modern tank in the Leopard, a little bit more up to date than some of the Russian ones we've seen. So we've got a little bit of a sprue guide on the front. Bring you in for this. Here we go. Yes, here we are. Okay, I'm going to sound like I'm a stuck record, but look at that. That's it. So there's no drill hole cut off. No real introduction. No words. No words. What's wrong with them? They're all the same, aren't they? These Chinese companies. They're just not making the effort with their instructions. Oh, we've got corrections already. A sheet of corrections. Okay. Well, I'll try and put aside my irritation. So you're building up your main hull, lower hull. It's not a bathtub size. You actually build it up. And you've got the rear wall as well, the back. And then we are going to put in our suspension. You've got all your, looks like shock absorbers here. Bring it a bit closer. And then your torsion bars going through, and then you're putting on your wheels. It seems very straightforward the way it's going. Seems to be running, racing ahead very quickly, doesn't it? Then you've got your different versions. Have got different filters, obviously, between the A5 and the A6. So that's something to be wary of. Then you start with the top of the hull, and you've got all sorts of bits of spare track, and you've got your periscope visors, and then you've got to build up your tracks. And then you've got all the other paraphernalia that goes on the top. There's all sorts of tools and spades. You've got pickaxes, wire cutters, you name it, spare track, barrel cleaning rods, and sort of crowbars. There's also the tow hooks there. And we have some various ancillary parts at the back, including the barrel lock here. Then you're bringing in your tow cable. I don't like the presentation of the instructions. The artwork is fine. It's just the lack of clarity and info. I don't like this. This is exactly a repeat, I'm afraid, of the BF-109. But it may be worse in some respects. It's very light on detail, very light on words. So anyway, you're putting your side skirts on there, and then you've got different versions of the side skirts, different types of smoke dischargers and grenade launchers, and then you've also got different type of barrel as well. So here's your barrel, different muzzle brake, it would appear, and the muzzle itself looks different depending on whether it's the A6 early or late. Mean looking cannon, isn't it? Then you're bringing in your turret. You've got all of your cupola rings and the hatches, stowage boxes, etc. going on the side. And what have we got here? This is a light. A7 must exist at the same time as S6. The language they're using is very fuddled. Very fuddled. Okay. Disabled or open state of the hatch, closed or open. I wish they get their English right. This is fairly basic English. I can't understand why they're so called. Excuse me. And then you've got all these ancillary parts going on your turret, all these smoke dischargers, grenade dischargers. You've got your ammo basket or shell basket, empty shells, storage baskets on the side, and then you've got, the Germans use this, what do they call it, artificial flash or artificial gunfire discharge, I think they call it. It makes it look like a gun, like the guns fire when they're in training, and that's what these are at the front here. You see it in colour, it looks better in colour, you can see it better there. The sort of copper colour. And then it's telling you to remove certain versions you're removing some of the bolts and lugs that are on the top, because they're obviously not required. And then finally that assembly just goes on top of the main chassis. Well, some things Border do quite well. So now we're on to something that's a bit more impressive, and that's the colour call-outs, which they do rather well, I think. They always look clear, understandable. Got your sort of Berlin camo style, street camo, urban camo, and then you've got your more foresty battlefield camo. I've got a lighter version of that if you're in somewhere where it's a bit drier, you know, in the Middle East perhaps. Another variation here for the A5, and then you get, you know, a blank page. Why? What is the purpose of that? You know, they just annoy me with it. Why do they do it all the time? It just annoys me. I'm afraid that the Chinese, it's not this kit in particular, it's just a whole raft of kits that come out of China where they can't really be bothered. You know, the instructions are a bit of an inconvenience for them, aren't they, it seems. I find it rather annoying, if I'm honest. But anyway, we will get this away, back in its bag. Don't think there are any great surprises there. He says, here we go. Right, there's only one way to do this. That's the fold it back. Somebody recommended a few weeks ago. There we go. That's it, in you go. Gentle check. Got there in the end. Right. It's always difficult when you've got multiple elements in the bag as well. Right, so I'm afraid they're not going to get 10 out of 10. That's even however good the plastic is. Anyway, I'm not going to open this bag because it's actually sealed, but it's just the periscopes we'll bring you for this. And you can see those fairly clearly. They look quite nice actually, in fairness. Can't see the problems there. All nice and clear. Because on tanks like this you do get a lot of periscopes because visibility is vital. Then we have got the turret, all nicely wrapped up here. Now remember on the Meng, I was mighty impressed by the turret. Oops! Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a beautiful fit. That's a beautiful fit. I mean, Border's plastic generally is really impressive and always looks nice. It's just this instructions thing that they get wrong. But look at this. This is very like the Meng, very similar indeed, I'd say, in terms of quality. Very, very nice moulding. You've got the anti-skid surface here for the troops to be able to walk around on top of the tank. That's very, very nice, isn't it? Yep. Look at that. Bolts. Very exquisite detail. Look at the hatch detail at the side there. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, that's nice. Nothing wrong with that at all. Beautiful. Real work has gone into making that mould tool, I think. Back inside where it's safe. And we'll move on. That's good. That's good. Now then, the tracks. It's got this like pin and pivot system, isn't it? Where that's kind of a copy of the Meng system, isn't it? Really. So you have a pad, and you have the other side, which has got the sort of teeth, so to speak, go into between the road the gap between the road wheels, and then you've got this like a double pivot. So it's very similar to what we saw from Meng, in fairness. And it looks like they've copied each other. Let's have a look, see it in a bit more detail. There we are. There we are. So that's the pad. Here's the teeth I was talking about that go between the road wheel. Pad goes on the other side, and then you've got the pin and pivot, which goes in those. There's like two grooves. See that? And then these go into those grooves, and then you end up with. So it's like a 1, 2, 3 piece, isn't it? A 3-piece track section, and then you just step and repeat. Very good. Looks nice. Very nicely moulded. Very, very fine plastic moulding. This. No flash. No. No problem at all. It's superb. So, that's that one. Hours of fun with those you'll have. Hours and hours and hours of fun. And now and then, what have we got here? What was that actually? Where's it open? Okay, well, it's just multiples of the same sprue, so we'll just say one out. So we have the road wheels and the torsion bars essentially here. Now, as I said, Borders plastic is usually absolutely, 10 out of 10, and it looks the same here. Look at this. That's really nice, isn't it? 2019 kit, it says. But look at those bolts on the wheels. Look how nicely those are moulded. That's nice, isn't it? Moving over to your tow hooks and torsion bars, which again got beautiful detail on them. Really, really nice. And then you've got various smaller components. I think it's these shock absorbers, isn't it? Does this work on hydro pneumatic? It may do. I'm not very familiar with the technical details of this particular model, but on the Leopard. But there's nothing wrong with any of that. That's beautiful. Yep, that sprue gets a 10 out of 10. Put that over there, and then we have got. What have we here? Some small sprockets and things. Now then, wow, this is a bit of a feast for the eyes. Here's your jig. This is the jig you used for building your tracks, track jig. Then we've got the idler and sprocket wheels. And then you've got these, what look like these suspension components, like a shocker system. Just look at some of the detail we're getting here. That is very, very nice. Turn it over because you get a bit more detail still on this side. Look at that. So there's one of your hatches, complete with all the bolts. That's nice. That's really, really good. And you've got a little, looks like a winch tool. Winding tool for the jack, it looks like to me. Got some really good detail here. Yes. Got tow hooks, lights. That's really superb. Sounds like I've got a drone flying over me. I hope it's not going to bomb me. That's for drones, isn't it? Now then, some bigger parts here, big sprue. This is the one that's got the side skirts on it. Okay. Oh yes, this is, oh, that's very nice moulding. Look at this. Look at that, it's so finely done. It's got these like protector rails which goes over the wheels. But look at the high grip surface that's on. This is on the mudguards. And they've even got high grip surface on the mudguard area so that you can climb up onto it. Is that the mudguard, or is that? I may be wrong. I think that's part of the actual turret, isn't it? In fact, yeah. Sorry. Again, look at the parts. It's so nicely moulded. Ooh, really good. Here you've got your parts of your gun barrel. Obviously been slide moulded, as you can see. It's the muzzle flash eliminator, isn't it? And then here we've got, looks like the MG34, is it? That's really nice, isn't it? Look at the detail on that. That's very crisp. Super, super crisp. And you've got your fans on the engine deck, and then there's various bits of trunking and cabling. Super duper, really nice. Super sprue. Well, I have to say the plastic's really impressing me. Certainly more than the instructions did. It's nothing new. That's the way, blow it open. Okay, going well so far. Not seen any nasties at all. Just some lovely, lovely details. Now then, what have we got? Oh, this is a lovely sprue. But again, some mega detail here. Now we've got the gun barrel is actually in one piece, and it's not hollow, it's solid. How about that? Interesting. Then we've got various tools. You've got like actuator rods, you've got wire cutters, all manner of things here. And that's part of the gun mounting on the turret. And you've got so many little components, you can barely tell what they are. Look at the fineness of some of these parts there. That's very nice, isn't it? Beautiful, fine, detail moulding. You know, I mean, look at this one here. That's very nice. I'm sure the camera's getting this. Too close. Okay. Look at that. It's very finely moulded parts that are just very three-dimensional looking. You know, very a real depth to some of the detail on them. That's beautiful, actually. Even the gun barrel looks good. Quite like the idea of it being in one piece, not being hollow. That is lovely. Very nice sprue. Gorgeous. All the hatches. It's all there, isn't it? And then, last bag. I've got several. Oh no, sorry, it's two. Two bags. Ah, well, that's actually a repeat of the earlier bag, isn't it? Yes, I know it's not quite a repeat because it's got a gun barrel in it as well. So we'll open that. Upstairs, hopefully. Actually, only just big enough this bag. I've been a bit tight with the bag this time. Strange. The others have got a big overlap. This has got none. So. Oh yeah, so you've got this gunfire simulator system that I spoke of. Can you see that? No, you can't. There. That's cool, isn't it? Very nicely moulded. A nice depth to it. And then you've got the back, basically the rear of the tank, the rear wall of the tank. Complete with mudguards built in, which is quite nice they've done that. It's one piece. But again, fine detail. Superb. You know, there's nothing wrong with Border Models moulding technology, I've got to say. That's where they're very strong. In fact, they're one of the best in coming out of China, I think, at the moment. Yeah, that's a really nice sprue. This is your cable or winding mechanism for your tow cable. Gorgeous. Okay. Just got the just got to get the knack of getting it back in the bag. This is the smallest bag compared to the actual sprue of the lot. I'm quite sure. It looks like somebody made a mistake, in fact. Can't be right, can it? Don't believe that was intentional or something. going to go in. So yeah, it's folded on the other side. It's okay. Anyway. Stop. And then last but not least, the big parts. See what I mean? It's got a big overlap here. Very generous with the bag. It's sort of 25-30% overlap. That I've got like 0. Almost. Oh, this is quite delicate. It's hanging off the sprue, so I'm going to have to be very, very gentle. Really gentle with this. Yeah, it's just come off the sprue. It's not the strongest contact points, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful how I handle this. So bear with me. That is stunning, I've got to say. I don't know how it looks on the camera, probably even better than what I can see in truth. That's amazing. I like the way they've actually built this up as a one piece, complete with the side sort of side sponson. Instead of having it separate, that makes for a quicker build, and it means that you don't get the joins, of course. Look at the detail around the sort of flanges around the axles, or the torsion bars are coming out. It's fantastic. Now let's go and have a look at the actual upper hull. I think I need to zoom you out a bit. There we go, so big. Look at this. That's beautiful. Be so careful. It's just about to, it's only held on by one contact point. You can see all the high grip areas, can't you, for the soldier's feet. There, yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Got a beautiful sort of texture to it as well. Yeah, I like the way they've replicated it. Whether it's actually better than the Meng, I wouldn't like to say. I'd say they're pretty much on a par, really. I think they're pretty even Steven. It's difficult to say without having them actually side by side. You've got that rear armour protection plate, which I remember was separate on the Meng, but they made it again. They moulded it all in one here. It's the where the engine is at the back. They have extra protection in case of landmines and things like that. Which is not much reassurance if you're the driver at the front, but anyway, it's got plenty of thick armour anyway in this tank, to be fair. Well, that's beautiful. Yeah, they've got plenty of thick armour, as long as you're not getting hit by one of these, what they call Maverick, is it? Missiles? The N-law missile. They do make a mess, don't they? Right, now bear with me because I've got to be very gentle with this to get this back in. That's going to have a little bit of a challenge in my hands there. A part about to come off the sprue at any second. I'd rather not do on camera. Get into trouble with the owner. Come on, you go. Right, anyway, I'll do it. Do it. It's it in. There's a problem. There's a problem. It's got itself hooked on a hole. There we are. Ooh. Gently does it. Gently. Right, there we go. So, well, it's a nice kit. It's just let down by its nasty instructions, that's all. But that's not uncommon, unfortunately, with a lot of them, is it? So then, verdict. I think the plastic is fantastic, as they say. It would have been a 10 out of 10 if they just made a bit more effort with the instructions. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I think that's fair, you know. I think plastic, fantastic. As I say, I'm not trying to make it sound like a pun. Really nice though, you know, the moulding's beautiful, and I like the gun as well. I've done it in one piece, but they've done it well. Not sure you need a metal one for that. Looks absolutely great out of the box, to be honest. Can't fault it really. Just, you know, next time they make a model, just get somebody who's English to translate it all. A bit more history, a bit more information. They can't even get their English right. That's terrible on the sign. It's so badly, spelling's bad, the punctuation's bad. They've got words with no gaps between them, and then you've got a gap of 4 spaces between the next word. It's bizarre. You know, I'm sure a Chinese child could have done that better, surely. I'm sorry, but it's bad. Anyway, don't be too harsh because it is a beautiful kit, a lovely leopard. You've got 2 options there as well, so if you're interested in leopards, then you should definitely seriously consider that. 9 out of 10 from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up, or at least smash that like button, as they say. And don't forget to ding the notification bell if you haven't already, and you'll get early warning of any up and coming videos in the near future. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Hope you found it interesting. Hope to have some more interesting stuff for you in the very near future. Until then, thanks a lot. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.